Hello everyone, welcome back to FPL Jedi Show. This is the deadline stream for Game Week 21. My name is Hafiz and I would like to welcome Azmin, the Mr. Team News to the stream. How are you, brother?
I'm good. I'm good. Just trying to catch up as much. All the press conferences coming in. But to be fair, not all the. When I say all the, I only mean the first half, which have only 5 matches. So let's get to it. Yeah.
All right, man. And to all who actually tune in to our stream, we have a breaking news for sure. Just like 20 minutes or half an hour before we live, we already got definitely a big news. And if you haven't done your transfer yet, this could be crucial in your making your Game Week 21 transfer, which is the announcement of double Game Week 25 matches, of which Man City and Brentford will play twice in that week. And you can see there, Man City will play both at home, Chelsea and Brentford in that week. And for Brentford, they will play a tougher match. On paper, at least, Liverpool and Man City away, man. So what's your first reaction to this, man?
Yeah, we knew it was coming, but we just whether or not the timing would be there. And obviously, when you look at it, Liverpool at home. Manchester City playing both at home. That's really a good thing. The only thing is, trying to figure out how Manchester City will set up by then. Because Game Week 25 is still a fair bit away, and you know, then also they will also have to start preparing for other stuff as well. So let's see how we go. It'll be interesting to see because we know that for City, Kevin De Bruyne is already who turned out on the bench and already got minutes as well. No sign of Haaland yet. So yeah, but whatever moves we make, we need to bear in mind this double game week because this looks like it could be pivotal.
I think this team news also will give a spanner whoever actually ever activated their wildcard this week, man. Because they're coming with this news, they might actually prepare already their team. But
I'm worried if you do that, then you kind of jumping the gun a bit. But unfortunately, if you've already activated the wildcard, then that's fine. You just have to deal with it. But maybe over investment in City might not be good. Hello. Uh, okay, I'm not sure whether the stream is still on, but we've lost Hafiz. So I'm just going to continue talking. So okay, yeah. So we do, obviously a lot of people who already transfer in the likes of Foden. So then that definitely it's very worth looking at. Although, let's face it, again with Kevin De Bruyne coming back and later Haaland, the whole structure of the City team might even evolve. But to be fair, Foden looks great. Foden is in form, so it's not going to those who already have him, great. But for those who don't have him yet, it's something to consider. Do you want to have him now, knowing that the City structure might change? We don't know. Yep. So it depends on your team, I guess. Yeah, you have to consider and also plan for the fact that you want to get when when Haaland comes back in, so you need to structure that. For those who already who already activated a wild card, it's fine. You can do it without any. You can plan it without problem. But for those who don't, especially those who have absences, and let's face it, game week 21, this game week, it's a very it's probably the most challenging game week to navigate simply because there's so many considerations. There's the AFCON, there's the Asian Cup, there's also the fact that it's 2 game weeks, so you don't get team news about the second half batch of players, which has happened the week after, and that's all you can do is hope that they don't get injured in the training ground. That's I mean, there's only so much you can do. Just hope that all the players who are currently not flagged are fit, and at the same time, for those of you who do have players flagged, but for the second batch of matches, you're gonna hope that they recover in time, but always consider transferring based on that. So okay, so I still don't have Hafiz back. So what I'm going to do is, oh no, here he is.
Sorry, my internet connection down a bit, but we are back.
That's okay. Yeah, I was just about to share the slides on my side actually. But yeah, Hafiz, I was just going on with the explaining how the City uh, double game week affects us. So at the same time, we haven't talked about Brentford. I haven't mentioned Brentford yet. So Brentford, of course, is not a team that you are looking to invest in simply because they are in poor form and they've also lost Wisa to game week. So who's left? You know, Mope is obviously still there. Uh, Mbuemo is out. But for Chi, this is when Tony comes back. As of next week, Tony will be available to play. So if let's to be fair, it's a risk. Okay, now consider the fact that unlike other players coming back from injury, Tony hasn't been injured. He's been playing, he's been keeping himself fit, so you you would expect him to start against Forest. The only thing is that in terms of pure match sharpness may not be quite there, although he has been keeping fit. But when you talk about match fitness, we're talking about competitive fitness. So will he get he will start. I can see him starting because let's face it, Brentford are poor. They need him back quickly, and Mope is not the striker Tony is. Um, but will he play 90 minutes? I honestly doubt it. Um, I don't see him playing 90 minutes, but the time that he's given, 60, 70 minutes, considering that the match is against Forest, who for me is currently has currently one of the worst defenses in the league, I think it's enough. Okay, but of course, at the same time, you have to bear in mind the fact when it comes to Tony, you also have quite a tricky fixture list. So it's not exactly a favorable fixtures set of fixtures. But if you remember Tony from last season, he can score against the big teams as well. So lots of factors to consider.
And if I'm
Okay.
right, he actually scored 2 goals away to Man City and inflict a defeat for Man City. If I'm right, so he is a big player for sure. And I think Azmin did mention, if you feel with this announcement, Tony is someone that you are looking at, this is good entry point against Forest at home. And by all means, you just never know in terms of captaincy pick. It's an open selection for this week, and Tony could be the one to actually spring surprise for managers if you pick him this week. Okay, man. We will deliberate more into the game week 25 so on
Yep.
later in future, because we also expect, man, this could be the beginning, because we expect double game 25 Liverpool matches could slot in here, and that would be entice on in terms of your our strategy,
Yeah,
especially in
man.
double game 25.
Yep. Lots of complications. Let's wait.
All right, game week 25 fixture. We all know this is the beginning, or actually the week of the winter break, of which game week 25 fixture will split into 2 weeks, and the first 5 matches will play this week, and we can offer only the 5 or the 10 team news for this week, of which it will start this Friday midnight Malaysian time, 3:45 a.m. Burnley versus Luton Town, who has been rescheduled. At first, this match should be played on Monday night, but because of FA Cup replay that Luton Town will involve, they have to um, bring forward the match to tonight. And then we have on Saturday 2 matches: Chelsea versus Fulham, London Derby, and on midnight Newcastle versus Man City. It's a big one, and we are actually thinking what has been Pep Guardiola mentioned about team news. Later, Azmin will touch on that. We have on Sunday 2 matches: Everton versus Aston Villa. Also interesting match. We can see Unai Emery's side actually fighting, and hopefully they can actually fight for the title running. And then we have Manchester United versus Spurs, another big match. There's some new signings for Spurs, so we are looking forward for that match. On the other side, the other week on Saturday, 20 January, Arsenal versus Palace. We have Brentford versus Forest. We touched already. A chance of you picking Evan Tony against Forest. We have Sheffield United versus West Ham. Bournemouth versus Liverpool, and Brighton versus Wolves. So, man, let's jump for Burnley and Luton Town news first. What you have for us?
Right. So when it comes to Burnley, so there is a problem with. Hang on. Let me just enlarge. I don't know. Hang on, my screen just disappeared. Give me a minute.
Okay.
Okay, so the biggest issue with Burnley is okay. So you got Bayer obviously for fantasy football, and this has Charlie Taylor. So Charlie Taylor is still a big doubt, and we don't get much information. I can say that. Hang on. Um, it looks like he's unlikely to play. So that is gonna be a big dent, especially when it comes to the likes of Foster, because with Foster a doubt, that they need Foster if they're gonna have a chance of surviving the league. So for me, Taylor, I think there's a few people um, who also have Baye as well. Yeah, so those are the problems that they have. But obviously, for where fantasy football is concerned, it's Charlie Taylor, and he's still a doubt. Okay, now for Luton, so only we know that Cabaret is away at AFCON and Morris is fit. How Luton will line up, it's still anyone's guess. But let's face it, this is a relegation battle between the
Yep.
two, and they've excuse me. So they've already met previously, and what was the, hang on, let me just check. It was I was trying to remember which game week. Do you remember which game week it was? I can't remember which game week. Never mind.
Are you looking at the
Uh,
result? You're finding the result, is it?
yeah. I think Burnley won this one. Hang on. Yeah, Luton, Burnley. Yes, Luton. Burnley won this one, 2-1. Yeah. So and Burnley won away to Luton. Yeah. So now it's the home team. So Luton, but we've seen a bit of a resurgence with Luton. They are fighting really hard, and to be fair, the when they first played, it was in game week 7. Yeah, so it could change things, and if Taylor and Foster are out, it could swivel things towards Luton.
All right, man. Here, the news is about Bayer, Taylor, and Foster remain out. But for myself, I'm actually banking for Taylor to start. I'm hopeful he can start against Luton Town. But yeah, we just never know. We hope to get some news, man, before that.
Yeah,
We hope.
yeah. I mean, the thing is, I'm sure those of you who know where Burnley is concerned was that company decided to zip. He was told to zip it, so he not reveal anything with regards to injuries. So apparently his head of media at Burnley told him to zip it. So, and
Okay.
to be fair, it does show, it does. Is it telling that the pressure is on already? That not you're already going that route of not revealing what's going on with your players. So, um, well, let's see how we go. So, on the Luton side, yeah, the manager was a bit more forthcoming to explain things. So that's why we know that Carlton Morris is fit. So let's see how we go. But of course, their captain Tom Lockyer is still out as well.
I think also this match is important. It's a relegation battle. Luton Town at 18 points with 15 points, and Burnley at 19 place with 11. So they need that 3 points to close the gap. And if let's say Burnley somehow rather lost this game, it will further widen the gap, and Luton Town could actually further up in terms of safety, and Burnley and Sheffield United are more likely to go down. So it is important this game for sure for both
It's very
teams.
important. Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next match, man, which is Chelsea versus Fulham. All right, London club, both team, and we particularly know both team are actually involved in Carabao Cup semi-final during the midweek. So what's latest news?
Okay, so the biggest news for Chelsea is that Chilwell is apparently back. and that could be a major boost for Chelsea. With Chilwell back. How they line up, then we don't know. But I can tell you that bad news, well, for me anyway, is that Christopher Nkunku is out. So with Nkunku out, we saw how they. I'm not sure if you watch Hafiz, the Middlesbrough tie, and
Ah,
Chelsea
man.
were having so many problems. And I do wonder, with Jackson, for all the flack he receives about his finishing and his composure, but his presence in the team does seem to help the players around him, particularly Palmer. So now without Jackson, can Broja do the same for Palmer? I'm not so sure. It seems like they have to structure, uh, try to work out how the best system is without Jackson, who, despite not really great fantasy wise, proved himself to be um, quite a key player with regards to distracting the opponents and really breaking up the defense. So will Chilwell start? I'm not sure. Obviously, for FPL purposes, we're just gonna wait and see. But I can see him coming in as a sub and making an impact. Yeah.
Right. On Fulham set, we know our EOB and Bessie will be on international duty, right? Other than that, they should be fine. And if someone just about Gusto, so he looks likely on the team sheet that he's going to start. Colville, as many mentioned, Chilwell, I don't think he will start this game. He might come from the bench, but those are as for sure unsure. And yeah, it's going to be a tight match for sure. I mean,
Yeah. For Fulham, okay, these are the two sides that lost their FA Cup match. So let's see, yeah, whether or not it will, it should have no bearing on this match. Fulham are fit. The only thing with you have Willian there, so will Willian start? I'm not sure he will. They do need to manage his fitness uh, better, so he may not be able to play that many games. Yeah, but other than that, it's as is. And the Cordova Reed, yeah, who has
will
been
be
scoring recently, should definitely be a fixture there. So in terms of calling this match, I think both teams will score. I still expect Chelsea to win though.
okay. We shall see. Let's go to the next match, man, which is Newcastle versus Man City. We want to know what's the status of Haaland, man.
So the big, well, obviously, the for Newcastle, another injury this time to Joe Linton. Although to be fair, he's got the Toon has staff, key players back already. So it's just that they just taking turns in getting injured. Wilson's not ready yet, which means Isaac should start. Harvey Barnes is still practicing, still training, but he's definitely nowhere near a start yet. Of course, for me, the good thing with Newcastle is the fact that they have had rest, and I think that's the most important thing for them, because we saw it take its toll last month on the squad. So that's, for me, is quite significant, because they need to be at 100% against City. So City, we do know that Haaland is still out. In fact, he wasn't even really pictured training with the squad at all. Yeah, so it goes to show that, for all that speculation back in game week 19, back when they were in the uh
Mm,
for
mm.
the Club
World Cup.
World Cup. Yeah, everyone's like, oh, he's gonna return after brilliant, and then and then it just keeps going. And in a way, we saw that with in a way, similarly, we saw that with KDB as well, to the fact that even when he did turn up on the bench for one match, he was not brought on at all. It's only so perhaps being really careful, only until they're totally ready. So anyway, other than that, Grealish unwell but returns to training, but which probably means that you won't see him. I mean, he'll be on the bench, but he may not be fit enough to start. I agree with that starting lineup: Alvarez, Bernardo Silva, Rodri, and Foden and Doku as the attacking, and it's all about Doku, isn't it? I know there's a lot of everyone's popular pick is Foden, definitely, because he's such a good player and he's definitely um, if he doesn't secure his place in the lineup this season, given the performances he's put in. If he still gets rotated by Pep, then I just give up. I wouldn't know because we've been seeing for what the past 3 or 4 seasons now that he looked like he was going to break in and become a regular. He is a regular, but his place isn't secure. But anyway, other than Foden, I just want to touch on Doku. So it's all about Doku versus Trippier. Trippier, we know that he's no longer fast, so he's going to have to rely tactically and rely on his centre backs to assist him in marking Doku. Because if if Doku is fully fit, then Doku is good could be one to watch.
All right, man. As you mentioned, Haaland is out and he will miss this game for sure. But if you have Alvarez, you are going to comfortably play him. Okay, he could be also a cheeky pick in terms of captaincy against Newcastle. The predicted score for this game at BBC Sports is Man City going to win 3-1. Man, what do you think?
I'd say 2-0. I mean, um, but I don't know. I don't know. I do worry that we're underestimating Newcastle because of last month's total whitewash, at least for Newcastle, because they was just so knackered. I mean, they've already had. I think they've definitely should put up a better showing, and if they had the moral boosting um, derby win last weekend against Sunderland, one of the biggest rivalries for in the country, Newcastle versus Sunderland, the Tyneside derby, sorry. So yeah, so I think Newcastle are going to be better, definitely better against City.
All right, man. There's question from Vinay Danarin. He mentioned about what's the status of KDB. Will KDB gonna start? What do you think, man?
Right. All right. So, last in the previous match conference for the previous match, um, Pep says he needs a lot more training before he can be considered a start. And I think KDB also released a picture in social media, also saying that he expects to still be on the bench, coming as a sub. But now in this press conference, yeah, Pep says, yeah, I think he's ready. He can start if So
Okay.
it's like, so I don't know who to believe. I'm still skeptical of Pep. I do feel that he's just laying it on a bit. But it's too much of a risk to bring him in this
Mhm.
week. Away
Right.
to Newcastle.
Mm.
If you can afford to wait till next week.
All right, good stuff. Let's go to the next match, man. Everton versus Villa. We know Everton also are tight in terms of at the relegation um, spot, 17 place, uh, looking after themselves, and Villa also performing up top. So what's the latest news, man?
The biggest news for Everton is that Doucouré has trained and they've missed him so badly. And they remember they went on a streak of wins after that announcement where they
Yeah,
got docked 10 points. The
yeah.
moment Doucouré got injured, they have not won since. So it's quite a startling revelation, but it also goes to show how much their attack relies on Everton, especially given the fact that there is no one in front of him that's on form. DCL is just has looking nowhere like the striker he used to be right now. And it's a bit of a different when you where previously, even though he was injured, when he came back he can score. He's such a it's looking really hard for him. So, but Doucouré coming back will be a boost. On the Villa side, FPL wise, we know that Torres is back in training, so it could be involved, could be just a sub. S- The thing is, uh, I think Paul Torres makes the Aston Villa defense a lot better. We saw without him, I think they even conceded 2 goals against Burnley. So but will he be involved this week? Probably yes, but probably from the bench, just to tighten things up if they are winning. So yeah, other than that, those who um, are on Moreno who decided to risk it. Moreno should start as well, and because Digne is still out, and Moreno could be a good source of FPL returns as long as Digne isn't back yet. I think Hafiz has hanged again. Okay, so um, I just want to touch for in terms of FPL picks. So Ducouré obviously is back, but you're not probably gonna consider him because you probably want to wait a bit. But for Villa, I don't know if for those of you who are looking to um, add in further from Watkins, you can consider Bailey and obviously Douglas Lewis. It's like if the moment he contributes to a goal or another, he tends to make off with the bonus points. We saw it with Villa the other day with Watkins burning rubber, and then Lewis getting the late penalty and scoring, and he just ran off, overtook Watkins and made off with 10 bonus point, 10 total points, leaving Watkins with only 8 points. So that's something to consider for the Everton Aston Villa match.
All right. My line not so good tonight, so
Yeah.
hopefully you ini. So I think for Everton and Villa, Everton at home, just wanna precaution everyone. They are good at home, especially. If I see for the past four matches at home, they
Yep.
actually um, win two and lost two, but their match for the last four is a tough one. They have Newcastle, Chelsea, Man City, and juga Manchester United. So those are four, and now another Villa, which is another tough match. Villa, when I have a peek back at the league table, they are second right now, and they definitely want to continue to perform. All
Yep.
right. Last but not least, we want to go to Manchester United versus Spurs. What's the latest news? We all know also about Spurs. There are some new signing. I mean,
Okay, but for the United side, there's a plenty of good news. I mean, it goes to show just how desperate Manchester United are for reinforcement. So Casemiro, Shaw, and Martinez have all trained and should be available for selection. How this affects what Eric Ten Hag does, we're not sure. But if Shaw is really fit, then he should displace Dalot immediately. Casemiro, we're not so sure because um, he wasn't in good form at the start of the season. He was quite poor. So whether he'll displace um, Ericsson, we're not sure. But I would you I could say he arguably he could replace Ericsson and play Casemiro and Mindo to
okay.
um, secure that midfield a bit and make it more so that they are not too adventurous play people in the pivot, but leaving Bruno to push forward. So other than that, you got Anthony, but he's not likely to start. So Garnacho and Rashford. So Rashford starting would be on the left, meaning Garnacho goes on the right. There's an argument as to whether or not Garnacho is as effective on the right, but nah, that's it's hard. Regardless, we know that there's some of us who are looking at Garnacho for this week, and one of the reasons is to leave enough funds for eventual Haaland return. Yeah, I'm. We know that after this week they have an extra week where they get to rest. They won't have a they part the first day the first half of the 2 week winter matches. So definitely Haaland has an extra time to be ready. So we'll see with that. Um um so yeah, so that's why people are leaving funds and picking up the likes of Garnacho. So he's under 4.9 I think.
For
Yeah.
Bonnie, yeah.
Yeah. So on the Spurs side, so we got Romero rejoining the team training, but whether or not he'll play, we're not sure. Maybe not. Um, so you got So there were two transfers. There were two key transfers here, which is Dragusin, but more importantly, Timo Werner. Now we know that uh, Werner was brought in, and to be fair, he had not been starting at RB Leipzig, but he has had Premier League experience and can be a good player. So when news of the Werner transfer came in, there was a lot of speculation as to how it would affect Richarlison. So, but when you look at this setup, that predicted lineup, it makes sense. Why would he be risked? Why would his minutes suffer because of Werner? I would have thought that they can still play together. Yeah, rather than speculating. Obviously, we have to wait for when Sun comes back. It's a different story. Yeah, but it's a chance for them to show what they can do. And after that, then we have to decide. We can only take it as a on a case to case basis. And let's face it, most of us probably will between Sun and Salah. Most of us are already sacrificing Sun, and Spurs by game week, I think 25 onwards, they don't have a great run of matches as well. So people are looking to drop them anyway. So as a short term punt, yeah, I think Richarlison is still good enough. You would assume that he will be the one taking the penalties. I don't know. I can't see Werner suddenly taking over. Um, Werner as an on loan striker who wasn't even starting to suddenly take over the penalties. Yeah, so I'm sure Richarlison will claim it.
Yep. Just want to touch a bit on Werner. He's classified as a forward and priced at 6.5 million. So if you're
Cheap.
interested, you can go there. But as we all know, we just uncertain how the Werner will actually feature in this team, whether he's will be play on the left side or actually compete with Richardson up top. But we shall see. I think you should not rush into getting
All
Werner.
right.
On the other side, Onana is still in the squad, is it? Because I can see he's not leaving yet to Cameroon.
Sorry. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So Onana is still in the squad. They've received um they've allowed him to stay for
Wow.
this match and will only leave after. So he's the only. But I'm quite amused because the question is he that important to the squad? And the argument is yes. I mean, he hasn't looked it, but yeah, I think he's still strong enough to merit Manchester United want to
Uh,
keep for him out.
why actually I brought up this Onana thing is because my auntie also playing FPL, and she actually asked me a tips or opinion looking at her team. And when I saw her team, he has to address some of the players, and I saw Onana. Then I thought, is Onana already gone or not? And when I checked already, so means that if you still have Onana and do not have any second keeper, you should be able to play Onana because she's not leaving yet. So I think that could be the one that you can do.
Yeah, he's not leaving, but if you, I don't know whether depending if you have another keeper, whether or not the other keeper might be a better pick because Spurs Spurs are quite attacking, and I expect them to score goals even at Old Trafford. So yeah.
Okay. All right, Ben. That's the 5 matches that we featured this week, man. But we won't have the other 10 teams who
Yep.
are gonna play second week. However, we're gonna touch a bit on them because it's
Sure.
what for now. In terms of Liverpool, man, TAA is the biggest one because we heard that he's gonna miss for some weeks. You're on mute, man.
Yeah. So the big thing with was came as a surprise. Pretty much, the news came during our preparation for Game Week 21, and um, so given that it's 2 weeks, he said he's missing for 3 weeks. So meaning he theoretically he might only be miss out on one. It did come up as a surprise, given we didn't really think that he would be out that long out. But given his Game Week 21, that the question is whether or not you want to keep him. And to be fair, with TAA, Salah, and Son, you would why not keep him? It's because you already have other transfers that you need to make anyway. Okay, unless you are looking at unless you have problems in defense or you don't have enough in your starting 11 for defenders, then you would want to look at transferring him out. Okay. Um, because you have there's a lot of money. So moving on. So West Ham. So Bowen, Paqueta, so definitely they're out, so they're unlikely to make a lot of mixed signals with them. But I think a lot of fantasy managers had already brought in Bowen, so they're just gonna be praying that he will at least play some part, because but it goes to show that transferring so early, given okay, the argument when a lot of people put forward in transferring Bowen was, he's had an impeccable injury record. When he gets injured, he gets back very quickly. He's a clear starter. He doesn't get injured a lot, and then suddenly gets whacked in the FA Cup, right in the last 5 minutes or something. The last few minutes, suddenly he gets whacked and had to be carried off. So yeah, he's out. Will he be out? I think he's out. Yeah, but whether or not, if you have already transferred him in and now look to sell him at, I'm not sure, because of the mixed news. You might as well keep him and wait for the next game
Yeah.
week and see what team use and look at transferring others.
So
But
if they say you already have Bowen, I think you just keep him. But if you do not have made any transfer for Bowen, I don't think he will be in the conversation if you want to bring him in.
yeah. Okay, so I'll move on to Arsenal. So Arsenal, Jesus is back. Vieira impact not so much, but Jesus, we know that he can have a good impact. Having said that, the likes of Martinelli have digressed big time. They've far cry. So partly it seems like the system is impacting them as well. Having said that, they play Palace in this game week, and Palace have had a slight resurgence. Well, very many resurgence, only for Olise to get injured again. But a lot of people are backing Saka as captain because of this Arsenal Palace London derby thing. I'm not so confident in that. I do feel Palace have some quality there, and obviously they don't have Olise in attack, but Eze is there. Um, and given that Arsenal have their own issues as well, and where they lost against Fulham, for example. So I think Crystal Palace will fancy them getting something out of this game.
All right. A question about Jesus, man, from FPL Bubu. If
Hmm.
we can attend this, what to do with Jesus? Start or bench? And yeah, the situation, because last week he actually did not start, but he actually played some minutes. But how about this week?
I think I think I think we should, given that he's back in training, given the fact that we still have another week, I
Yeah.
think you should start him. I think you might as well take the risk, because I think they they need to figure it out. And if you want to change, then Jesus is one player who should be one of those changes and start. So yeah, I'd say start him.
All right. Okay. Good stuff. Other than that, we just read out summary. Tony returns from celebration. We already know. Solanke meets Kapta with minor issue, but I'm not sure whether that's a big news. Botman going to play Liverpool next week, so he should be okay, I suppose. Palace Olise lagi unavailable. Brighton, Mitoma, Anigra call up despite injury, so that's a surprise there. Huang, Anori, parts with we already know Nottingham Forest 6 players are going for AFCON competition, and Sheffield United not so much, but Baldock among cup opportunity if you are relying on Baldock, so it might not not play for Sheffield United, but that will be another week. All right. Okay. Min, that's a team news. Let's go to transfer traffic for Gameweek 21. Before coming today, Min, Palmer was all week long. He's actually on top in terms of top transfer, but Foden, okay, on the last hurdle, we can see that Foden is the number one transfer in. And with the news double game with 25, I can see only going to get increase in terms of ownership. 1.34 million managers has brought the Englishman coming into their team, and the next 1 or 2 hours we can see Foden traffic will keep increasing. Second place Palmer, had mentioned 1.3, slightly lower than Foden. Palmer scored 18 points last week. Chelsea are playing Fulham this week, and Palmer could be a potential captaincy pick for this week. So that's why the transfer for them. For Palmer, Estupinan, because the injury, so Estupinan come in. Brighton have decent fixture for the next 6 game week at least. 856,000 manager has brought him in. KDB, that'll be a surprise one. Yes, he did feature, but he came on the bench. I'm not sure whether he's a good pick for now. But number 4 in terms of transfer in, and Bowen. I think despite that news, maybe but before that news, Bowen was among top, in the top 5.
Yep.
For transfer out, mate, Salasan, no surprise. We have TAA because of injury. Huang, and also Bowen also among the top transfer out because he been declared out for some weeks. So
Yeah.
what you can move in terms of transfer in and out for this week?
Okay, so yeah, definitely Foden. The interest in Foden picked up, and Palmer was a lot of it's fueled by, well, by the fact that after he's been doing really well, and it's amazing how there's so many people who still didn't have him. So that's one of the reasons. And of course, there were, if you remember, there were those who even benched him last game
Yeah.
week because they had the abundance of options. Yep. So no surprises, I guess, for Foden to come into the fore. As to Pinion, I guess, with it's partly also because of the likes of Taylor, the likes of TAA all getting injured, so they need to fill the space, or even Zinchenko is still a doubt. Yeah, De Bruyne for me is the biggest surprise, um, and um, I guess at the end of the day that means they have fun. So most likely they've had sold off the Salas to bring him in. Yeah, so now you got interestingly enough, now you have two of the top 5 being City players. So it's a question who's gonna be the one to stand out. Is it Foden or KDB? This short term, which is this match, and long term in terms of the next few matches. So that's an interesting question to see. And will eyes will be on KDB to see how, if he does start, how he does. Okay,
Mhm.
transfers out. No surprises, I guess. Salasan, Hichan are all away, while TAA and Bowen are injured. So nothing to comment there.
All right, good stuff. Quickly on the suspension for this week. A lot of people are returning. Okay, Kulusevski, Dang, Hammer, Sheffield United have that. Sangare, Ben Me, Kamara, Bisoma return, but he's going for international duty. But the biggest one for sure is Ivan Tony. And we have 2 player banned for this week, from Bournemouth and Brentford players because they completed the 90 matches. So Senesi, I think that's the biggest one because some managers have a Senesi, and we have Senesi. I can see some team have Senesi and TAA and are unable to play both of them and struggling to play the 11 players for this week. Godos not so much, and he's actually going for uh, competition anyway. So, anything to comment on Senesi, man?
Yeah, so one thing we don't really talk about, okay, sure, Senesi is suspended, but you got to question Senesi with the Senesi suspension will also hurt Solanke. Yeah, so we know because Senesi is a good attacking outlet as well, but you know, if that, but of course they don't have a easy, theoretically not an easy matchup, which is Bournemouth versus Liverpool. But I do wonder whether there'll be an impact on Solanke. Now on the Brentford side, yeah, we talked about Tony, but I do feel also Brentford having Ben Mee back could also help. I think that's going to be a big help to the defense and to the struggling defense. So maybe, well, to be fair, they've struggled even with him around, but he will be needed. Other than that, nothing. I guess um Gustava Hammer, who was suspended last week, so he'll be back, and I think Hammer is also quite important for Sheffield's survival hopes. So let's see how that goes. Sheffield, of course,
West Ham.
yeah, I mean, to be fair, it was against City last week, so, but
Yeah.
I think him returning is going to be a big boost.
Yep. The fact that actually lost 2-0 only against Man City shows that Sheffield United can be a stubborn team for sure.
Yep.
All right, man. Before we go to our team, last we just take a look at the scout pick for Gameweek 21. We can say there who feature for this team: Areola in goal, Gabriel Estupinan, right, among the top five transfer in. Poro against Manchester United, team away. I'm not too sure about that. We have Foden, number one most transfer in for this week. Richarlison, okay, away too. We have Spurs double up inside here. And there is no Manchester United asset. Saka, if he Gross, you did mention about last week about Gross, even CK, they mentioned about potentially Gross coming into his team. So he featured in this team for this game week 21. Palmer, no surprise. Watkins away to Everton, but Tony game for us. Yep, I won't deny about Tony. His training, we might not sure about his fitness and whether he can be actually up into the intense game coming into this game week 21, but his inside team and with the game week 25 announcement, yeah, particularly interesting to have him for the first time in these scout picks. So what interests you, man?
Um. Yeah, Gabriel there. I'm not so sure. I'm not sure Arsenal keep a clean sheet. Richarlison, Saka, Gross, Palmer. It's fine. I find it cute that Nunez is there on the bench. I do think he should. I do think he should go into the starting lineup. But I guess who do you take out? Um, I don't know. Yeah, it's a tough one. Maybe Richarlison, but because we're not sure yet the impact of Spurs without Sun. Um, but
Would
otherwise,
you
yeah.
play Watkins over I mean Richarlison, maybe Nunes, maybe Watkins should be benched because playing tough away to Everton. What do you think?
Um, I can see. I wouldn't be surprised if Watkins blanks, but it's so hard for us given that he is the top, one of the top strike
Yeah, yeah. He's
forwards. He's the highest scoring
yes, forward. Yeah.
um forward at the moment. So of course you wouldn't bench him, but I wouldn't be surprised if he blanked, to be honest.
Okay. All right. Let's go to our team, man. Go to my team first. I have 3.9 million to free transfer. As we can see, the latest is TAA injury. Salah and San out. So in goal, I have Areola, Poro, and Gabriel. It's like the team of scout pick just now. So I have to play Gabriel Poro because, as you can see on my bench, without TAA, I might actually need to bring one of the Taylor or Bradford, most likely Taylor. But if let's say Taylor did not feature, then Bradford
Yep.
at home against Villa, we just never know, right, man?
Yeah,
We
you
tend
don't
to
know.
actually pick the shit. Yeah. So I think those are the dilemma. Gordon, Saka, Palmer, Salah and Sai I need to deal with. Solanke and Watkins. Captaincy for now at Palmer, but I'm still unsure. All right. So what I would do this week, I think I would take out Salah and Son, I suppose. All right. And bring in maybe Foden, most of the transfer in right now. Maybe another one, Richardson. That those are the two players that I'm thinking right now. Those players also feature in that scout pick team, so it's not bad. Gross, yeah, you know, I've been reading articles also. Gross should be among the top five midfielder that you should consider to replace Salah and Son, but he's not a sexy P, right? I mean, so but Brighton is still decent. Gross is involved in whatever Brighton doing. His
Yes.
potential. So it's Gross is definitely big. I think that what I would do.
Right. So you are one of those who have TA and Taylor. So given that you are look given what you plan, so that means Bradford is going to come in anyway, right?
Yeah, if I'll try to play Taylor, and if let's say he miss out, then Brentford come in.
Yeah, so you definitely already you have that there. Um, yeah, you're going Foden, right? Definitely. Yeah. So it's hard. Yeah.
I think so.
So then that means you'll be selling both. You will basically sell Salah and Son.
Yeah, although there's a lot of even content creator they mentioned they want to keep Salah another week. I saw Zofa tactic. In his article, he just wanted to do one transfer, take out Sun for say
Mhm.
Foden, and play Archer instead of
Mhm.
replacing Salah. And let's see next week news. So he wrote another transfer for next week. Play Archer against West Ham, which is still I think still decent. But Archer did not start against Man City. That I just want to.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't know whether it's just because of it's a one where they want to go ultra defensive. But it does say that Archer's position is not necessarily secure. Yeah. So that's a risk that you'll have to take. West Ham, who kept a clean sheet last time out, will they keep a clean sheet this time? I'm not so sure. I don't think they will. So I think Sheffield will score.
All right. So there is a merit if you want to keep Salah, but maybe I just don't overcomplicate. Just bring those two midfielder. Don't take any hit. Play one of those defender, and then address Salah. If he coming back earlier, then so be it. Just tackle that. And uh,
Yeah.
if Liverpool play double game week in 25, bring that Salah back in. So
Yep.
just I would just keep some definitely funds. If let's say Haaland return back in game week 22 and they're playing home against Burnley, so it definitely a captaincy pick. So that I just replace Archer for Haaland and make sure I have that money. That's all I can think, man.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. It's good. All good.
All right, we go to your team. Yep, you have a lot to address for sure, man.
Okay. So there's a lot of red there. So what I want to do instead is actually share my screen instead, if that's all right.
All right, fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna share my screen, and because I've already done transfers, so I'll share it right now. So I've already moved and sold off Sun and Semenyo, and I brought in Gross and Tony. So when the state of my squad means I have four people who are definitely out, which is TAA, Iwobi, Salah, and now Unkunku. So those four reds are definitely out. I have Pau Torres, who apparently has returned to training, but we're not sure whether or not he'll see time or start. I'm hoping that he will. I also have Zinchenko, who will have an extra week to recover, and hopefully he will. And it's a really dire situation. So at the moment, if assuming my two yellows do get some minutes, then I'll still have only 10 players anyway. I didn't save a transfer. I actually took a hit. I took a hit to get this team to where it is today, to right now. So I've been debating whether or not to take a second hit to shore up my team a bit. But my heart's not in it given the complexity of Game Week 21. So I'm yeah. Any thoughts?
Okay. Let me try to say. I think -4. Gross and Tony. I can only say good things about them for sure. Differential pick, but it's a good one. Mean, you're a bit reluctant to take another hit, but if I may say, maybe this is the week to take another hit and
Mm.
bring a replacement of Iwobi on Kuku. You have a lot of money there. Nkuku, as you know, is a pun and unlucky is injured.
Yeah,
And
that's Bunkuku is a move that just didn't pay off for me. So the question is, am I taking too much of a risk not going with a City player? Obviously, I think the Newcastle will be much better, but
yeah,
yeah, so I have options, whether to bring in Doku, because Doku's technically a punt. But when I picked in Gross and Tony, I went for security of starts. So I expect them to start a long time because after this week, I need to deal with other issues in my squad. Yeah, so the key thing. So as much as I thought Doku was incredibly sexy, but I just chickened out. Then Foden is also another one that I considered, and even now I'm still considering whether to, you know, bring him in for a hit. Yeah, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Okay, fair. But I feel if you want to take another hit, I think this is the week. Nkoku, you just need to deal for sure. It will be he's playing for Nigeria, is it? So Nigeria also quite
Yes.
strong in that form, right? So
Yep.
might not be back soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all. That's all
So
I can say. Me, you have 1 hour
so
more to think.
so right now I can expect that I'll, you know, the score hopefully is not enough to significantly drop in rank. I'll take if I remain in the 2K 2 mil, that's be good enough. So, and if I manage to get a positive, I'll be surprised given the stats. But I just want to say that I ruled out taking a wild card. I just felt that
Yeah.
this week is too complicated, you know,
Yeah.
given
Yeah.
the extra week of rest. You know, I think taking a wild card now is too risky.
Yeah. I believe so. It will rather. I think rather to take -4, -6 much better than wildcard for sure.
Mm.
Okay, Min, good stuff. Before we wrap up, let's take a look at our FPL Jedi League, of which number one, Kamarensic still on top with 93 points and gather a mouthful 1286 total points. Yes, you can see his team. He's an Aston Villa fan. Arela in goal 11. His defense big fat zero for all three players, Tarkowski, Senesi, and TA. I suppose maybe he actually played Zichenko, but he did not start. So Tarkowski coming in, maybe that's the case. And then in midfield, Hichan, Palmer, Son, and Salah all perform. He captain Salah, the best captaincy anyway last week. Solanke, Watkins, and Alvarez. But you can see on his bench, he benched Douglas Lewis and 10 points sitting on his bench. So, but to be fair, yeah, I'm not sure whether you play other than right Hichan, Solanke, all good players. So yeah,
Honestly, I was surprised that he benched Douglas Lewis, given he's an
okay,
Aston Villa fan. But I guess it was always going to be tough figuring out
yeah, yeah,
who to bench. Yeah, given the
for sure,
squad.
for sure.
So well done, Kama.
Yeah, and you can see, man, if I may say, this week, what will be his dilemma? He has TA and Senesi.
Mm.
Uh,
And he has Hichan as well. So
yes,
quite
but he
confusing.
can be replaced by Douglas Lewis, so I think he can do
Ah,
that. But he still need to tackle Son or yeah, Baldock not gonna be in. He needs to make another transfer. I
yeah.
suppose
Yep.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's going to be tough for Kama. He might need to take some hits for this week.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what he does. Let me call and ask him.
Yeah,
But no,
yeah.
it's a bit too late. I can't call him now. It's almost time. It's 1 o'clock in the morning.
All right. But you just never know. He actually woke up and still figuring out how he wants to do by his team, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Other than that, shout out to the top 10 teams here. 1, 2, 3, go. I still remember. He also sometime coming to string his number second right now. 1228 points. We have Justin 97, Nick Jakes, TMF 69, KIK. Abang HNC dropping further down, man. Number one,
Well,
two before
well,
this.
clearly
Like,
they didn't. They got the wrong captaincy, I guess.
okay, I
Yeah, I
don't know.
guess
We
they
can
did.
see.
I think they
And
didn't.
we can see FAF Futimura also got that 100-point club, man. And he actually moved to 7th place, cutting
Nice.
over me at 8th place, only with 95 points. But I'm happy. I'm moving up the ladder. Hopefully, I can still maintain in this top 10, man, and fighting with the
Yeah,
rest
keep
of
going,
these
keep going.
good momenters.
Some good players out there. So yeah.
Yep. Sabah FC at 9th place and Afan Ashraf team in the top 10 right now. So that is our FPL Jedi League. If you're interested to join our community, do log in to this FPL code, league code ZA9F60. All right, man. That's where the stream ends. Do not forget our deadline Gameweek 21 will be in 1 hour time, 2:50 a.m. Malaysian time. And if you're here joining our stream, hit the like button and subscribe to our FPL Jedi YouTube channel and support us, man. So, what's your last word?
Right. So I'm glad. I find this game week very challenging, but at the same time, I think it's fun. It's good to have these different challenges to pack. But you just right this week, everyone's just got to be patient. Yeah, especially when if your first half squad doesn't come off well, you're just going to have to pray that your second half squad does come off well. Do you know how many players you have for the first half, Hafiz?
Well, I didn't count, but let me check.
Yeah, I actually have more players in the second half. So
Oh, is it? I have,
yes.
yeah, I have one, two, three, four, five, six, and seven if I bring in Richardson and Foden. So I'm banking on game week, the first week of this fixture.
Okay. Richarlison is okay. Yeah, yeah, he's in the first half
Yeah.
as well. That's right.
Richardson and Foden, if I bring those players, they will play this week.
Okay, all right. Because I got Gross and Tony who both play next week.
Okay, fair, fair.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
That's all.
Okay.
Good luck to everyone. And yeah, may the force be with you. We wish you all the best and make the right decision. But as we all know, uh, sometimes we make the right decision. The result doesn't come, but don't give up. All right. All right. Thank you, guys, and see you soon. Bye.
Bye. All the best and see you on the other side.